Welcome to the deep dive. You sent over some really fascinating material, a detailed course outline about the psychology behind elder scams.
Yes, that's right.
And it's interesting because it goes way beyond just, listing scam types. It really breaks down how the manipulation works, the why.
Exactly. It pulls back the curtain, so to speak, on the sophisticated psychological tactics scammers are actually using.
So our mission here today is to kind of extract the core insights from this source material. I want to give you a deeper feel for the vulnerabilities and the exploitation involved.
Precisely. Understanding the why.
Yeah. And we're not just going to rehash the usual suspects, romance scams, tech support calls, though the principles apply there too.
Sure.
We're diving into the universal psychological levers they pull. So let's unpack this source material.
Okay.
So in the material, it starts with a really foundational idea, the vulnerabilities. And it makes this crucial distinction. It's not always about significant cognitive decline, right?
No, not necessarily. It highlights how scammers often exploit very normal age-related changes. Things like slight shifts in how quickly someone processes information, or maybe difficulty shifting attention quickly between tasks.
Right. These aren't necessarily deficits, but they're openings scammers look for.
Exactly. And then they layer on these common cognitive biases, things we all have, but which can be, particularly potent in these situations.
Like what? What does the material highlight?
Well, think about the authority bias, that tendency to comply with people we see as authority figures.
Like someone pretending to be from the IRS or law enforcement.
Precisely. Or the scarcity principle creating intense urgency.
Yeah.
The source uses examples like, you have to pay this fine today or else.
That pressure tactic, it gives you less time to think, to verify things.
Exactly. Cuts off rational thought.
And it gets even deeper, right, into emotional triggers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The sources detail how scammers actively weaponize emotions. They might use fear, threats of arrest, legal action.
Or hope, like fake lottery wins.
Yes. Hope or even greed. And compassion is a big one that's key in the grandparent scam. I'm in trouble, Grandma. Send money fast. Don't tell Mom and Dad.
It's awful. And the material really emphasizes that sense of urgency or panic they create.
It overrides everything else. And beyond just the emotions, the specific tactics are key. Things like impersonation, obviously.
And building rapport really fast.
Yes. Rapid rapport, often using like excessive praise or flattery.
Yeah.
Making the target feel special or understood very quickly.
That love bombing idea you sometimes hear about?
Kinda, yes. And critically, isolation. Pushing victims to keep everything secret. Don't tell your family. Don't talk to your bank. That removes their support network.
Okay. So if you put all that together, the material lays out sort of a scammer's process, like a playbook.
Pretty much, yeah. A life cycle. First, they find potential targets, then build that quick rapport we talked about.
Right.
Then comes the hook, the sob story, the amazing opportunity, whatever the scam is. Then the ask for money or information. Escalating pressure and maintaining control, often by really doubling down on that secrecy aspect.
Okay. Understanding that playbook makes the red flags the source mentions much clearer.
Definitely.
Like unsolicited contact out of the blue, requests for weird payment methods, gift cards, wire transfers, crypto.
Yeah, things that are hard to trace or reverse, bypassing normal bank protections.
Intense pressure to act immediately, and that huge red flag, the demand for secrecy, don't tell anyone.
These aren't accidents, they're deliberate steps in that manipulative process.
So tying this all together, what does this understanding really mean for you listening?
Well, the source material makes a really strong point here. Recognizing the psychological underpinnings, seeing the biases, the emotional triggers, the playbook stages, that's incredibly empowering.
It helps you spot the method behind it all, whether it's something happening to you or maybe a family member or someone you work with professionally.
And it raises that question, how can you use this knowledge effectively, not just to spot scams, but maybe to talk about them? The material really stresses using empathetic, non-judgmental language if you're worried about someone. It's about understanding why these tactics can be so convincing, not blaming someone for potentially falling victim.
That's a crucial point. Avoid blame.
Yeah, and it reinforces, the importance of reporting to authorities, financial institutions. Using this understanding perhaps helps provide better context on how the scam actually worked.
This deep dive, it really shifts the perspective, doesn't it? It shows these scams aren't just random crimes. They're, sophisticated psychological attacks.
They really are. They exploit fundamental human traits and biases that, frankly, scammers have gotten very good at manipulating.
Absolutely. It underlines that vulnerability isn't necessarily about weakness, but about these universal aspects of how our minds work that can, unfortunately, be targeted.
Well said.
And thinking about that, if these psychological levers like authority or scarcity are so potent in scams, where else might you be seeing those same principles at play in your everyday life? Maybe in advertising or negotiations or even just daily interactions. Perhaps less harmfully, but still influencing decisions. Something